I'm Ashton Addison from Blockwest Capital for Investment Pitch Media and the Crypto Coin Show. And today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Yves Longchamp, Head of Research at SEBA Bank. Yves, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for the invitation. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Let's dive into it. So many banks are waking up to become neobanks, crypto banks, offering more and more digital asset, financial products and services into the traditional world. I'm guessing you have a traditional background prior to crypto, so let's jump into that. I'd love to hear your background as an economist and what first got you interested into moving into digital assets, and then we can dive into SEBA Bank.
Yes, sure. Yeah, indeed. So I'm an economist. I first worked for the Swiss National Bank, and I've always been interested in the role of money in the society and finance in general. And I was just realizing that everything is becoming really digital. And the next step about money is probably to become digital as well. I think that money has changed over time with the society, with regulation, with technology. And I think this is a kind of new iteration. I was really interested in having a deep dive into it. This is why I decided to go into crypto, actually.
Amazing. And can you tell us a little bit about SEBA Bank, and is it a traditional bank as well and moving into crypto, or what's the story there?
No, actually, SEBA Bank is a new bank. We've got the Swiss banking license a few years ago, and we applied for a banking license. So actually, we have the same banking license as any other Swiss bank, but we have a twist, and the twist is about crypto. So it's all about crypto. So it's crypto first, and we offer also traditional services, but it's really targeted to crypto. So we are not a traditional bank moving to crypto. We are more a crypto bank really made for that design and for supporting all assets and services linked to the crypto activity.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. And it seems like more and more financial products are coming out in the crypto world that are tying in traditional finance and digital assets. Not just holding spot Bitcoin. There's all these other financial products. Maybe you can talk a little bit about what's the bread and butter of SEBA Bank, and what are you focusing on in the digital asset space?
Yes, actually the idea is really to bridge both the world of digital asset and traditional assets. And I would say that most of our clients are traditional institutional investor wanted to jump into it and having a first experience with that. And the idea is to simplify as possible, because this is a very complex world to enter into it, especially when you have, you need some special system to book your crypto and so on. So the first idea is to provide them possibility to custodize all the cryptocurrency directly in the bank. And second, we want to offer obviously some financial services to it. It can be either you can have typical financial services like buying ETP or ETF, which are typical financial products. You can have options on a different cryptocurrency. You can also enhance the yield with some kind of staking. You can also get credit if you got a few Bitcoins and Ethereum, and you want to keep it because you expect the price to go up, but still want to get some fiat money to buy, something that you need. I mean, we offer all the kind of traditional banking services, but really with crypto in background. And I think this is something completely new. So we really want to bridge both these worlds. So if you're a traditional investor, you can have access to crypto as an asset class. And if you are a native crypto and you want to open an account, then you can benefit from the banking services that a typical universal bank offers.
Very cool. And being in the traditional space before, I'm guessing you have in Switzerland and around that area, you're familiar with what's going on and what's the discussion around the banks and institutions and where they're at. And I'm curious from your perspective, looking at institutional adoption and like how fast SEBA Bank is growing and with institutional clients moving into cryptocurrencies. What are you seeing from that aspect?
Yeah, institutional investors are really on typical clients, and we observe a lot of interest, and this is growing. I remember I joined SEBA about 3 years ago, and at that time people were very much, let's say, unfamiliar with the notion of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and so on, and whether it will survive. Now, I think these questions are not anymore the case. So Bitcoin is here, and I think this is to stay. What they want to know is how they can invest in crypto, especially in Bitcoin. What does it mean for their own portfolio? Is it really something new? Is it an emerging asset class? Does it offer diversification? How can you have some crypto into your portfolio without being too, let's say, annoyed with the high volatility? So we have this kind of first idea. So this is where most of the people came, and then we also observe that we have let's say a second generation, so the second type of question which is coming is many people also see blockchain as a new operating system for value. So you can really transfer or store any kind of value. It can be monetary, but also non-monetary value, your identity, for example, or I don't know, ownership. And they are also interested in investing into an environment which is linked to this technology. And I think this is something which is coming, and obviously Switzerland, which is a financial system, there are also some banks thinking about what it would mean for the future of finance, whether this is, and this is all about DeFi, for example, decentralized finance, whether they will take the place of centralized finance, whether there will be a kind of a link between both of them. So I think it comes from a very broad environment, but most of them are interested in the potentials it offers in terms of investment.
Mm-hmm. That's great to hear, Yves. And being the head of research at SEBA Bank, there's so many different facets of digital assets, because it seems like it's moving into almost every single industry that either stores data or has transactions, and can innovate all of these technologies. So how do you keep up with these innovations, and how do you narrow down the focus to make sure that you're researching the right aspects of digital assets?
Yeah, that's very difficult because it's a fast-moving environment. There are thousands of new things developing on a daily basis. Luckily, I'm not alone, and I can really rely on a great team. Mm-hmm. Actually, we also decided to focus on a few angles. And the first one is we consider crypto asset as an emerging asset class, and we would like to understand what are the fundamentals behind. So whether it's cheap, is it attractive to buy Bitcoin at 40 plus, or is it too high? We want to look at all to build, let's say, all the information that a typical institutional investor would look at to make its own decision. So that's the first element, really trying to understand this asset class. The second is to follow regulations, because our clients are mainly institutional investors, and they want to go into it. They want to be sure that they don't make any mistakes, and that regulation is playing with them. So actually, we also follow very carefully development of regulation, and I must say that regulation is coming, and it's quite good because it creates a lot of clarity for institutional investors. And finally, which is something which is absolutely key to start a discussion, this is about education. So we also write a few reports which are purely education and explaining the basic concepts. So education, regulation, and investment are the key pillar of our approach.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, and I'm glad you mentioned about the education. I feel like even knowledgeable institutional investors could benefit from more educational pieces, just because the industry is moving so fast. And I'm curious if you've made that in an official section of SEBA Bank, of like keeping your clients educated and informed of new topics and just the foundations.
Actually, yeah, you mentioned education. Actually, there is two ways we provide education. The first one is via our educational publication called The Bridge, which is really to bridge traditional with digital finance, I would say. And the other one is called SEBAversity. SEBAversity is something completely different. It's a department which is here to provide education, to be a thought leader, to imagine the future, but the future of finance, and also to help bankers, the whole banking system, to understand what it means, what is a blockchain, what is cryptocurrency, what are the benefits, where do we go with that? And this is a way, and we think this is part of our mission also to explain and to demystify, I would say, to educate and to demystify.
Definitely. And you mentioned at the beginning about staking and how there can be extra yield from that. Now, with DeFi growing so quickly, there are more stabilized, centralized finance providers that are helping with staking, but there's also the world of degen DeFi and like totally decentralized and with higher yields and more volatility as well. How deep have you looked into that, and how cautious do neobanks of an approach take into moving into true DeFi?
Well, the way we do it, I think I have a concrete example. So we are a whitelister for ADA, for example. And the idea is really to make the bridge and to offer new types of services. So obviously we have staking, so we have also some staking possibilities for a few currencies, so you can get staking, and we take care of the risk of who is validating, and you have some insurance and so on. But I think more important, this is really about DeFi, how you can merge DeFi, how you can create an environment where institutional investors are ready to put their money into it. So you need to find a pool where even if you don't know who is part of the pool, who is swimming in the pool, you want to know that they are all clean. So you need to provide KYC, know your clients, and also AML, anti-money laundering, a check. And to my knowledge, we are the first bank to offer this whitelisting, and that will be the project will soon be launched. But actually, we are there. I think it's quite interesting because we are just opening the doors to decentralized finance, and decentralized finance is likely to commoditize a lot of services that banks offers. So it can be just the exchanges, currency, invested, borrowing, lending, and so on. And I think this is very first step. So I look forward to hear what the feedback is for our clients. But I'm very optimistic about this type of development, because I think there will be a merge between digital finance and, let's say, TradFi.
Yeah, it's very exciting and great to hear about the Aave part there. And now, I read at the beginning of the year that SEBA Bank closed a $110 million in Swiss round for the latest round of financing. So first of all, congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you.
And I would like to know from there, how does SEBA Bank continue to grow, and what is that capital going to be used for, and what are the main focuses for this year and next growing?
Sure. Yeah, we had very strong growth last year, and it seems to continue, which is very good. So we are happy to get additional funding to expand. There are different ways we want to expand. First of all, we would like to go to Asia. So we just opened a branch in Abu Dhabi, which is fine, but we want to go further east and then to go to Asia, which is kind of a next destination. And the thing is, we want to strengthen our position also in the markets where we already cover about 25 markets, and we need to, we are still a small bank, and we need to expand, we need to strengthen, there are many ways when we can do that, and obviously one way to do it is to hire people. So we will need some extra headcounts, definitely.
Definitely. And when you keep mentioning, bridging DeFi and digital assets into traditional finance, what do you think is going to be the key factor to success for SEBA Bank, at least, in ensuring that there is a successful bridge from traditional investors into the new world?
Yeah, I think that if we focus on institutional investors, I think that to have a bank license is really key, because they have we are similar to the people they are used to talk to. And so it's very easy for them to come to us. And I think so we are just a nice way to open the door so they can trust us, because we follow the rules that exist in the traditional space. This is what they see, and this is obviously what we offer. But behind we have also not only bankers, we have also blockchain engineers. We have a lot of IT people working to make the bridge, to simplify all the complexity and to offer the different services and to make it easy and to explain as well. So I think that this is probably one way to funnel money, let's say, from the traditional sector to digital assets. And the other way around is to bring this money back. I mean, if you're a crypto native and you want to bring your money back, I think we know that one of the difficulties to have it in, let's say, the financial systems, because you can be extremely rich in Bitcoin. That's fine, happy for you. But the thing, you maybe want to buy a house or to buy a car or to buy something, and then you need to go back. And I think if the way is also to bring this money, then offering, typical experience with 24/7 trading, great custody solutions, and then you can bring your money, you can spend it, you can use it, you can get credit, as I mentioned. So I think it really goes both ways. And a bank, even though in a decentralized environment of blockchain, when everything is peer-to-peer, I think a bank makes sense to bridge these two worlds and really going both ways.
Definitely. And right now, we talked a lot about institutional investors. Are you guys mainly focusing on that, or is it sort of open to other kinds of clients as well if they are interested in learning more about SEBA?
Yeah, actually, we are mainly focusing on institutional investor, which can be really an institution per se, or it can be private individual. But we do not focus now on retail, on the retail sector for the time being. But actually, if prospects are interested, they can have a look at their website, www.seba.swiss, and then they will find all the relevant information.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Yves, for coming on the show. I really do appreciate it. I'm really excited to see how SEBA Bank expands into Abu Dhabi, as you mentioned, and the rest of Asia. Let's definitely follow up later this year to catch up about all of the regulatory improvements and just how SEBA Bank is growing. So thank you so much for your time, and let's follow up in the near future.
Sure. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.